Welcome back to another restoration video. In this one we've got the 1983 Tamiya Subaru Brat. As you can see, the body is in need of a new paint job. I think that might have actually looked okay when it was first done. You might remember this from my removing paint video I started on the bonnet. That video's up there somewhere. Now, looking underneath, as you can see, it all looks quite grubby, but it's all in one piece, and I think it'll, work pretty fine. What I will do is get rid of the old AM radio and the speed controller, and I'll run some 2.4 gigahertz radio and electronic speed controller. As far as the motor goes, it's got the old race prep brushed motor in it. Maybe I'll keep that in it and I'll see if it runs. Can't see any reason why it won't. All looks quite good underneath. As far as the body goes, when I'll strip the paint off, I'll use a bit of paint remover or something on a lot of it, and some parts I'll be sanding. Now the windows are quite dirty and they need a bit of a polish or something. Naturally, the Riri's got dark ones like that, so that's a re-release window. I don't have a back window, so I'm going to have to use the back window on that. Yeah, so I'll put that in there, and I'm thinking I may cut out the window portion and replace it with a bit of clear polycarb. Because you paint the bottom part anyway. That's an option. I just really couldn't find a original one without buying a whole car, of course. Anyway, we'll get him pulled apart and go from there. So that's it, it's all apart now. Probably won't pull the front end down any further than that. Looks all good. I'll just give it a good clean. Yeah, there's no brakes or anything, that's good. Front suspension, same thing, I'll probably leave it in one piece. But I'll have to, like all of them, have to go and cut all these little dags off where they're basically ripped off the tree. You get that, I used to do the same as a youngster, but after you cut yourself on them a few times you tend to take them off, and they look a bit ugly anyway. So yeah, looks like all the main parts are good. No cracks or anything anywhere in the arms and stuff. Gears look quite fine. They all look good to me. Needs the 850 bearings in there, of course. The other bearings, I'll probably just clean them up. I'm sure they're still fine. If not, I can replace them. Shocks look pretty good. I mean, they're not broken. And they still work. Nice pogo stick shocks. The tyres I'll replace because the back ones are aftermarket anyway. They look pretty cool. They're quite a bit bigger. But the front ones are, getting pretty tired, very flimsy now, and probably about to start splitting. So I've got a new set there anyway, and a new set of wheels. So I'll get all this cleaned up. The axles and stuff look good, which is kind of rare and pretty good. Yeah, it's a little bit rounded off there. She'll be fine. Alright, I'll get all this stuff cleaned up and assemble the chassis. So I'm done cleaning the parts. Didn't find any broken pieces, that's a good thing. The aluminium bits I had to clean up a little bit. You know, they get a bit tarnished and scratched, so clean them up. Bearings, I washed them and re-oiled them and added the two 850s there, or 8x5s, because it only had the little bushes. So I got rid of them and run the bearings. Gears look good. The pinion gear's there. I don't think I will run that brushed motor. I think I might go brushless. Got a couple of things in mind, but we'll see what happens near the end. Alright, I'll start the assembly. Now, before I start the assembly, I just wanted to tell you about these screws. These 4mm by 12mm tapping screws. They also go in the side there to hold the battery ends on. They were very corroded. Looked pretty horrible. I didn't have any spares. As far as I know, they only came out in the ORV chassis. And yeah, the new Re ones are a different head. They're just a Phillips head. They don't have the slot as well. So to me, it wasn't going to look right. And these are kind of gold. So I got some of this liquid chrome stuff. Molotto brand. Molotto, if I hear you say it. And I brushed a bit of that on, and then just lightly, you know, touched a few areas with the Tamiya X8 yellow, just to make it look kind of gold. Same on both sides. And they're not perfect, but they're much better than looking at dirty, corroded screws. Like that one in there is not real good either. So I'll change that too. Yeah, the other side's not too bad. Anyway, I'll get on with the assembly. Alright, so I've got our little adapter there from Tamiya to Dean's, so I can run a battery with a Dean's plug on it. I was going to plug that one in, but it was too flat. So anyway, it's all bound and we've got it working. So the steering works. And the throttle. Brakes. And reverse. Fantastic. Alrighty, next I'll put some wheels on it, but first I noticed I didn't have the new tyres, and I've got new tyres but I don't have new wheels, so I'm going to have to try and clean these up somehow. I've heard about peroxide and all that, but I don't have any peroxide, so I can't try it. Yeah, they look reasonable, but I'm going to try and clean them up with a bit of thinners and stuff, and if that's no good and they're still yellow, I guess I'll just paint them white. Alrighty, moving on. As expected, I couldn't get the wheels any whiter, so I ended up painting them. Oh, they look pretty good to me. The real Brat had painted wheels anyway, didn't it? So I'll put them together and then we can call the chassis done. So I've got the wheels on, new tyres of course, and the chassis is all finished. So I ended up using the Tamiya Sport Tuned motor and the TBLE02S speed controller, and there's a little Fly Sky receiver in there. Yeah, she's all done. All we have to do now is get onto the the antenna. I didn't like the way they have the same as a Frog, the steel antenna coming up, but it goes out the window of the like on the body. If the body's on, it comes out the window, which to me looks kind of stupid. So I've just got the little tube aerial that comes with the receiver, and put a washer on the screw there, and so when I put the body on I can bend it back or across or something, and it won't be sticking out the window looking like a fishing rod. So I just noticed with the body on it, the antenna comes up to the corner but it doesn't actually go out. Perfect. Yeah, I could bend it a little bit to hide it from the window, but yeah. I didn't even plan it to be like that. So yeah, so that'll be it for this video. In the next video I'll get onto this body. There's a couple of problems with that. The first one being under the windscreen there's a gap because the bonnet area is bent. It looks like it's either had something sitting on it, or maybe it was just a bad moulding from Tamiya back in the day. But yeah, it's got a fair curve on it, but I'll probably just heat that up and pull it back out and see how we go with that. Probably not too much heat though, don't want it to melt. And the windscreen's got a little crack down the bottom, goes about halfway up the window there. Not happy about that, but I really don't want to go and use the re window. It's all smoke or black or whatever you want to call it. Tinted basically. So if one comes along at a later date, yeah, I'll just swap it, but until then I'll just maybe glue it on the edge and hope it doesn't crack anymore. So yeah, pretty happy with the way that turned out. We'll give it a run after the body's done, of course, and see how she goes. Maybe even give it a run before the body's done, who knows. Alrighty, so there'll be a part 2 to this with the body happening, So look out for the next video, and thanks for watching.